It's where we dispose of all the bodies. I don't know if Sarah has actually told you what we do for a living.
Nope. I left that up to you, and this portion of the tour is a surprise.
Yeah.
So.
Assuming you're nothing.
Yes.
Oh, okay. But you don't know absolutely nothing. We're vertebrate preparators. We, Steve, Jabo, and I, who's still down in the lab here, are called vertebrate preparators, fossil preparators. We get the fossils out of the rocks so that the scientists and the public can see the specimens that are usually encased in rock. When you find them in the field, you see just a little bit of it sticking out, generally. I mean, just a teeny little bit, and you say, boy, that might be pretty neat, so you have to bring it back here and work on it and figure out exactly what it is. If you take a look in any of these tanks that you guys are around here, you can kind of see there are some limestone blocks in each one of the basins, and they have different stages of preparation on these little swimming creatures called thalattosaurs, which are about 250 million years old, 240 million years old, somewhere in that range.
How do you spell that? Phonetically?
Yeah, T-H-A-L-L-A-T-O-S-A-U-R, thalattosaurs.
We'll all be retrieving you.
Yeah, that's right. They're unusual little swimming reptiles from a long time ago that people aren't really quite sure what their origins were or when they died out. Somewhere about 200 million years ago, they disappeared from the fossil record. So they were a short-lived experiment in the reptilian life. Anyway, 40, 50 million years is fairly short-lived for a species, I guess. But anyway, the way we do these specimens has to do with the dissolution of these limestone blocks. We use acetic acid, which is a fairly mild acid that breaks the little bonds between the grains of sandstone and limestone and lime that are in there, and it's washed away essentially by the acid. But it's a very slow process. You can only get about half a millimeter off each bath of the acid that you put on the specimens. And the bone itself is starting to reveal itself. You can see somewhat. This is a partial jaw with some teeth on it, and it's coated with a plastic coating so that the acid doesn't actually hurt the specimen as it's being revealed. In between each bath, we'll recoat the specimen with this plastic coating that we use. And then put it back in there and put a little more acid on it and let the acid do the work. In amongst the vertebrate specimens, of course, there was all sorts of invertebrates as well. There's a really nice little partial ammonite coming out of this block, if you can take a look at him. So there's lots of other things besides just these disarticulated thalattosaur specimens. And some of those bigger blocks, there's some partial fish coming out. I think that middle block over there has some what appear to be large fish skulls with yeah, it's kind of hard to see them, but
It's just for the National Aquarium, the fish connection is important.
okay.
Fish are good.
Yeah. They're hard to make out because they're flattened and they're been long dead for 200 some million years. But anyway, this is a very nice facility. All the acid fumes are taken away to the roof of the building, and these are stainless steel boxes. You're at a state-of-the-art facility. The floor is acid-proof. I mean, we could have a big spill of acid in here, and it would be relatively safe.
So are all of these collected by researchers here, or do others send you stuff to be prepped?
We usually just do things for our researchers.
Okay. So our field researchers all went out and found this stuff and brought it back.
Yep. I helped collect it back in '93 and '94 out in Nevada, Buffalo Mountain, Nevada. We were up at about 4,500 feet maybe up on this side of this mountain. And directly on the other side of the mountain, we could hear the explosions every so often of this very large gold mine that this mining operation was going on. So we were pretty close to this pretty huge gold mine operation out there. But we were so high up in the side of the mountain that we really didn't have a good way to get the blocks down. Some of the limestone blocks are still sitting on the shelves over there. You can kind of see how heavy they are. Well, this one's on the second shelf especially, and the ground. So we used to, we went to a junkyard, got an old car led off of a vehicle, tore it off and put a couple holes through it and tied a rope to it and used it as a sled. And we were the sled dogs, of course, to get these blocks down off the side of the mountain and just slid them on down. Of course, we didn't have to take them up hills, so it was really easy.
And did you go to Maryland?
Just recently? Yeah, we'll show you that block over here. The dinosaur bone from that was collected in Maryland recently.
Yes, Maryland is apparently a great place to find stuff.
That's right. There's
Was that not always the case?
the
This is what they discovered.
Yeah, the radius rocks, yeah. So we can go on to the main prep lab now from here, if you would like.
Yeah, you're coming whether you want to or not.